Hi, and welcome to You Can Do Medicine. My name's Tom. I'm a first year medical student at Edinburgh University, and it's great to see you. So, today we're going to talk about some shadowing experience that I managed to get over the holiday period now. So, Edinburgh Uni, you get what's called an early years guide, and my guide's a wonderful girl called Tina, who I've met up with, and basically the guide's there to assist in any way that they can. Basically, if you were struggling with funding, you could go and speak to them. You were struggling with studies, but maybe didn't want to speak to someone, a lecturer themselves, or someone within the university network. Um, you could go to them. But when I met up with her, there wasn't too many problems that I had. Um, but I did ask her if I could do some shadowing. And so she pulled one out the bag, big time. And on the 4th of January, the last Wednesday, I went in and shadowed her in an orthopedic trauma theatre. So thrown right in there at the deep end. Now, I've never really been in a hospital environment. So this was complete, eye opener for me. I've never worked in any sort of care field. I've never really dealt with patients in this way, that other than I suppose some out of hours GP shadowing I did last summer. But I was really excited about it. It was, the highlight of my sort of Christmas period, to be honest, because I really haven't done very much and just want to get back in and start semester two, to be honest. Now, the so the day itself, met up nice and early, 7:45 at Edinburgh Royal Infirmary, just straight up and got into scrubs and out onto the theatre ward. Now, the theatre ward there is amazing. It's one of the longest corridors I've ever seen in my life. Um, must be more than half a mile long, and it just has, I think, 24 operating theatres on it. And we went, checked to see what patients there was, and what the sort of the plan was going to be for the day. We had a brief consultation with one of the patients, with Tina being the anaesthetist, just to check over things with him. And I should say that Tina's a third year, um, what's it, CS3 student. She's specialising to be an anaesthetist. And so we spoke to the gentleman, and then we went on to the surgery itself, and had a sort of debrief with the full team. It just again, I didn't know what to expect. I think there was like 12 of us, something like that, and it was as if the team was split up into three sections: the anaesthetist team, the surgery doctors, surgeons, sorry, and then the nursing team, scrub nurses and whatnot. And it runs like absolute clockwork. The people were so well versed in everything that, it was just like, to me, back in my previous career, the equivalent of setting a bar up, it's just like could do it blindfolded, And but just the amount of organization checks, just how much equipment's needed, how many drugs are needed, incredible. For each operation. It would just completely blew my mind. For what I thought were going to be fairly, straightforward operations, there were really so much uh, was involved. But I suppose that it's just to keep everything uniform, no matter how small or big the operation is. I suppose that the systems and standards need to be the same for the majority of it. Um, but really interesting for me, shadowing the anaesthetist side. We were also teamed up with a consultant, Rob, who was really, really friendly, really, really helpful. Absolute dream from my perspective to have someone that's training and the consultant there both just wanting to give me as much information as I could over the course of the day. Um, and yeah, by the end of the day, I was just absolutely just overwhelmed with it. But I wanted to go back the next day. It was just so great. But just to outline, there was three operations or so. An elbow, a broken elbow for the first one, then a broken wrist, then another broken elbow, and really interesting being involved, like going through the process of watching someone going under. Um, is it propanol that they were given? And so it was all intravenous, um, general anesthetic they were getting, and along with endless other drugs it seemed. Um, but just the process, it was so well organized, very calm. The patient was very well looked after, clearly in very safe hands. Um, and I suppose that for me, I don't know how many risks there are involved in various procedures, but it seemed to me that there was no possibility of anything ever going wrong, and I suppose that's very reassuring, and good to know for future career that it is so sort of relaxed, if you like, um, and that you've got such experts with such a wealth of knowledge around you that just know things just without having to think about it. Um, Also, with one of the most interesting things was they were putting a block on the nerves in different parts of their arm. Now, we had to memorize the brachial plexus, your shoulder there, so the nerve supply to your arm, as part of our semester one. And for each of the operations, they were actually injecting and just putting a block on up in the shoulder. So they had an ultrasound and they're just, putting a needle in. Very, very delicate work to, see where the different nerves were and also to like figure out which they were. Um, I found that fascinating to watch because it was on a screen, just watching away, and and then going into that. So once they're under the box on, they're fully sedated. Into the theatre, and these surgeons, absolute wizards, um, just playing some absolute. The playlist in the operating theatre was absolutely fantastic. It was like 80s hits, just smash hit after smash hit. And these guys are doing the most you delicate operations, really, really focused on it, and singing away, Bon Jovi and you name it, howling it. And we're just sitting looking at the screens from the anesthetic side of things. Um, and it's just fascinating to watch the way that the body's different systems, uh, change throughout an operation, and how with the type of GA that they were on, the body would still feel pain, and so it would react if there was any particular movement. But it's certainly no point anyone. There was it was so smooth and clean an operation for all three patients. Um, and yeah, the time just flew by. I mean, I was on my feet for 8 hours. It's the first time I've done that for a while, and I wasn't so happy walking home, considering I'd walked in as well. So it's about 3 miles for me to walk from my flat to the Royal. So walking that 3 miles back, I was pretty done in by the time I get home. But just such a fascinating day. I can't thank Tina and Rob enough. There was also another guy. I was trying to think what this guy does, what his role is. He was basically in the anesthetist room, and he just seemed to know everyone's jobs. It was almost like double checking on them, and he was the one organising all the equipment. If there was any particularly strong or dangerous drugs, I suppose he would have to, open the locked cupboard to get them and whatnot. And he was a complete wizard. He knew everything, without even thinking about it. He was always a step ahead of everyone. They just seemed to know exactly what was needed. Um, he'd already, if ever Rob the consultant was like, "Oh, I think we might need this," it was already like, "It's okay, I've put one here already." Just remarkable that people can get to that kind of stage with what to me I just have no idea what's going on really. Anyway, amazing experience. If ever get the chance again, I'll certainly be jumping at it. And um, if anyone else is looking to do that kind of thing again, I would highly, highly recommend trying to get some of it if that interests you. Anyway, that's me for today. So I'll see you soon. Bye.